Welcome back to the Tech Bench. Today we have a Pioneer RT-707 that came in for the usual two things that I see with these things. The first problem, I got this thing upside down on the bench here so I can show you. And again, I apologize, all I have is a cell phone for video, so I'm going to probably have to chop this up a little bit. But the first thing is, the complaint was it wouldn't shut off. You get to the end of the tape, it would spit the tape through, and the reels would just keep going and going and going. Well, this little rod here, let me get my finger in here, you can see it. This little rod right there is a shut off. When the idea is when the tape is gone, the tape has gone to the end and it moves over to the other spool and there's nothing there. No tape across it. The spring tension pulls that down. Well, the problem is the mechanism gets gummed up. So where's the play button? There it is. So we go over here and you will see this thing move down and then just slowly creep its way back up. And that is why it is not shutting off properly. The problem is the grease in this little shaft here gums up, turns to icky, and slows it down. So again, all I got is my cell phone, so I'm going to clean this up, pause the video, come back, chop it in later, and you will see the difference. Okay, that's done. So now, when we go to play, here we go. We have to turn it back on, I suppose. It didn't hurt. So now, no tape, immediately trips, the mechanism moves freely. So basically all you got to do is take that screw out, you slide this piece off, clean the shaft that's sticking through from this side, clean it up real good, and then what I do is I break the tip off of the Q-tip and shove it in this part and clean the bore of that thing. And then I use a little bit of motor oil. It's the same oil I use for it's made for electric motors for the brass bushings. But just a drop in there just to help it a little bit along. And it does provide a little bit of dampening, but nowhere near as gummed up as it was and slowed down. So anyway, that is a Pioneer RT-707 that does not shut off or is extremely slow to shut off when it reaches the end of the tape. Now, that's not all. We are going to go to the second most common problem I see on these things. And once again, I'm going to stop the record and I will be back in a minute. Okay, back with this Pioneer RT-707. Up and running, playing, but the other complaint was an intermittent speed problem. He said that when it happens, the pitch control, which is down here, does nothing, and it goes fast, and just chipmunks. He was described one time as, one guy told me years ago that it sounded like you were playing it on 78. Well, the problem with that is, let's see if I can point to it accurately, it's this plug right here. This is the servo control circuit here on the right. And this plug gets oxidized. Now I always reflow the pins here anyway, just because, but they don't usually crack. It's usually not the pins. It's usually just oxide in this plug. So you take the plug off, clean the contacts, clean the pins, put it back together. But let's see if we can get this. I'm going to turn the volume up on this bad country music here for a minute so you can hear it. And then I'm going to see if I can just wiggle this thing and get it to act up. See if it's going to act up at all on his head. Nah, it's going to make a liar out of me now. Usually you can just push on it. If it's acting up, it'll get better. If it's acting up, it'll get better. If it's not acting up, it'll get worse. So yeah, it's not going to do it now. But anyway, you clean that connector, and that's your speed problem. And here we have it, a working RT-707. The speed issue was resolved, of course, with cleaning that edge connector. And like I said, I reflowed it anyway. It's not necessary. It's usually not where it breaks, but I'm in there. Why not? And then now we got good speed, and the pitch works. So that's a dead giveaway on that. When that connector's oxidized, and then that's your problem, is it runs fast and that pitch doesn't do anything. There's no control at all. And then as for the shutoff, let's see what that does now that we're running the tape through it. These things were so cool, I gotta admit. They made some good stuff back in the days. I still got to go through and clean up the pinch roller and capstan, tape path, such like that. Here we go, end of the tape. And it shuts right off. So those are the two problems I see on these 707s. And that's really pretty much it. The rest of them are pretty straightforward. There's another issue I see once in a great while. They have a reversing deal. Underneath here, there's one of the little pins that stick through, has two metal. Actually, can I tip this thing up and still hold on to my cell phone? I don't know if I can or not. Well, I can't really do it, but there's one of the shafts has two little metal pieces, and they're separated with an insulator. The idea is at the end of the tape, you put one of the little silver conductivity pads on there. You get to the end of that, and this thing would auto reverse itself. You could go backwards, play the other side of the tape. Cool idea. Once in a great while, I have seen, it's rare, but I have seen where those things will read a dead short, even though there's an insulator between them, and there's no gunk on it, there's nothing that's shorting it up. Pain in the ass, but you got to take it apart, and on the back side, they use a screw that just goes into the shaft, but the little piece that they have the wire attached to that connects to the screw, the little eyelet, bends and it touches ground. So that in itself causes it to just auto-reverse. The dead giveaway on that was when you hit forward, it automatically would switch to reverse. So just hitting that button, just like we do here, we go reverse, we go forward. If it was like that, you hit that forward button, it would immediately switch back to reverse. So that is rare, but that one does happen too. The main thing is these two, the speed and the shut-off, are the two issues I see with this. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. That is it for this video.